Hello and welcome to Talkin Jake. It is March 17th. I knew that. I didn't just look at the calendar. We are in it. We'll be up in a couple hours watching a baseball game that counts as the Cubs host the Dodgers. I believe the Cubs are technically the home team tomorrow. I don't know if each one of them gets one. I was excited to do a nice tweet that was like, I can't wait to see Ian Happ starting off the baseball season. I think it'll be Shohei. So that's pretty cool. No Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts is sick and lost 15 pounds. So I don't know. That's one of those. I know there's not a lot of scary things in the Dodgers season right now, but let's see what that's all about. That feels like one of those things you hear at the end of May, and it's like, Mookie's got a 750 OPS. Well, yeah, he just gained 10 pounds. Anyways, today's episode, we'll be going through one of Brother Jeff's articles. Jeff Passan has an MLB season preview with some predictions and fantasy tips. I did get a couple, I know Jolly gets them, a couple fantasy baseball cameos to pick the team's like draft order and stuff. That's a lot of power. I'm kind of not into that. Because I just like went with the names I liked, and that feels like a bad system. It's a bad way to get the last pick in your league. We're going to go through Brothers Jeff's article. He has the season hinges on a player. He also has a fantasy teaser in there, and he has like the coolest thing he's heard from camp. I'll probably bop around and pick the one that stands out to me the most. Mostly the season hinges on, and I'll dunk on Jeff a lot for his wrong picks. And also, at the end of this one, we'll fill out a bracket live. You can hear my thoughts on it. Some might be useful, some may not be, but you did it. It happened, and you're subscribing to the channel. So, let's burn. Maybe Jakey's burns through the league. I've always been looking for my how to chew through just ball talk. That's kind of a signature thing.
Feels like we should have come up with that a long time ago.
How is that not like the first thing?
The first one we came up with.
Anyways, it's tough. New phone. It's okay. I don't know. Resyncing all your apps and stuff. That stinks. Like, it's nothing, but it just stinks. Because I don't save all the passwords. Also, happy St. Patty's Day to those who celebrate. I was wearing silly stuff earlier. I took it off. Let's get into the American League East, as we should, as is proper way to start off. Season hinges on Adley Rutschman. I like it. You guys know I'm a catcher guy. Adley's numbers last year and after the All-Star break were so bad. Zero pop, zero anything really. I think the thing that could be more interesting about it is what is Adley Rutschman? You know, we were kind of handing him the best catcher keys. We did our catcher's tier list. He doesn't have those keys. Does he bounce back to that? He's age 27. He should be in his peak. I would guess last year there was an injury. You guys remember I had a burgeoning, if that's a word, theory about catchers. And like all of the best teams a couple years ago had good catchers. Adley, I like the pick. There is a note here, and I don't think it's something really on the map for the Orioles this year, but me and this guy are friends on Instagram. Jeff notes Samuel Basallo, the top prospect, has really been turning heads at camp. Silly pop in his bat. There's been some cool home run highlights. There was a scout that told Jeff, we need to find him at bats. He's 20 years old. I don't see it becoming a problem. Baseball moves fast. Let's see what happens. If 20-year-old Sammy Basallo is crushing the ball, the Orioles will call you up. I'm not saying to replace Adley, but if there's a bat that should be in that lineup, they've never really had a full plan at first base. To save Adley's knees if Basallo can play. I like the pick by Jeff. He also notes Felix Bautista so far in spring, velo's down. Just something of note. Could be something, could be nothing. Red Sox. Season hinges on Garrett Crochet. I'm going to half agree. We did a Cy Young draft with Eno Saris. Talkin Jake guessed previously. He took Crochet with his first pick, and Eno knows things, which is always scary. But yeah, if the Red Sox have a true bona fide ace and Garrett Crochet, I say this in a genuine, endearing way, although I do have a Derek Jeter poster behind me, he looks gross. That's a pitching thing, a visual. The beard is intense. That's a guy you just don't want to see on the mound. Massive human. If the Sox get their 180-inning special Cy Young type ace, especially what's going on with the Yankees injury report right now, who knows where the Orioles are at? Rays going Ray. Toronto fighting for their life. Yeah, I think that's fair. Bregman bought all the top prospect suits. That's nice.
It's nice.
That's a nice note from Jeff. And just a smart move by Bregman. You're making $40 million a year. Dude, if one of those three is a stud, they love you forever. And then you could just ride off their coattails like Trev does with Matt Chapman. Anyways, sorry about that. Yankee season hinges on Max Fried. Kinda.
A little bit.
Kinda. How crazy has that gotten? Clark Schmidt has a cranky back.
Yeah, shoulder was barking. Came out of today's bullpen feeling great, though. So
that's good. Yankees are currently without Garrett Cole for the whole season, Luis Heel for half the season, and Clark Schmidt. Let's see what the next update is. But I will say this: if Yankee fans are sad right now, which they half should be, baseball hasn't happened yet. Don't be sad yet. The team could be really good. Jeff Passan said he heard multiple teams tried to trade for Will Warren this offseason after his kind of rough big league cameo. And he says that the Yankees held on, and now Will Warren's look good this spring. So maybe that's life gives you lemons. The Yankees have Will Warren. Tampa Bay Rays season hinges on Shane McClanahan. I would differ with Brother Jeff there. Sure, McClanahan's bouncing back. I took him in the Cy Young draft. Good moment. Eno said pitchers pitch really well at the Trop. The Trop helps their stuff. I said, perfect. I'm going to take McClanahan. They both jumped on me and reminded me that they're playing at a minor league park this year. I think the Rays need hitting. I think they're going to find pitching. And even if Shane McClanahan has a 3.5 ERA and he's good, like that's nice. I think if he's a 2.3 ERA starting pitcher, does that make a difference for the Rays? They need hitting that I would point to either Caminero. Like if Caminero's a guy, that makes the Rays pretty different. I would even go Josh Lowe. God, he looked so good. This is one of those dumb fan things, but this is how sports used to work. Josh Lowe looked so good against the Yankees 2 years ago. Like, he was just hitting balls out of the ballpark so easily. And
that's
he
just in your head now.
Yeah, it's just forever. Like, I just know he has that in him. Harry Potter. That's nothing. He lives within me. It's a good turn in that movie when you're like, wait, so you and Voldemort are like, really? You guys are hooking up. Rays need hitting. I think if McClanahan's nasty, that's great. But they have Rasmussen, Boz, Pepio, Little, Bradley. They traded for Joe Boyle for a reason. Toronto Blue Jays, Vladdy. Yeah, I guess. Can go a lot of different ways. Just a reminder, Vlad's second half, 376 batting average. Whoa. 450 on base, a 678 slug. It's one of the storylines of this season. God, Max Scherzer's a Blue Jay. That's known but not, you know?
Yeah.
It's just one of those signings that happens and you're like, yeah, sure, okay, Scherzer got signed. And Max Scherzer's a Blue Jay. What is that? Blue Jays, 5th highest payroll. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah, that's pretty wild. 97 mil coming off the books next year. Guerrero, Bichette, Scherzer, Bassett, and Chad Green. Go read Jeff's article.
It's good. It's linked.
White Sox don't matter. Luis Robert Jr. It is interesting to think about. If he has a good first half, he is an incredible value. If he doesn't, he is not, although teams will want him. Hey, Joey Gallo was awful for the Yankees and now becoming a pitcher. Good luck, Joe. And the Yankees still got like a MLB-ish prospect for Joey Gallo at that deadline. Clayton Beeter. Might see him for the Yankees this year. Even if Luis Robert's bad, they'll get something. But if he's good, that contract is instantly value. He's 27 years old, one of the best center fielders in the game. If not, I don't know. And these White Sox need hope. Guardians, season hinges on Jose Ramirez. So soft, Jeff. That's so soft. He does open it up with the first sentence because it always does, right? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I would jump to, again, they're going to pitch. I would go like a Kyle Manzardo. Is he still slotted as their like 3-hitter?
Yeah, like the whole premise of this kind of lands in the same conversation we get into with X Factors sometimes, where we're like,
right.
Obviously, if your best player's good, that's, you need your best player to be the good version of themselves. But where are the pivot points this season? I expect Jose Ramirez to finish exactly 5th in MVP,
as he does every year.
Be that guy.
You expect Steven Kwan to be a version of Steven Kwan. You expect Jose Ramirez to be a version of Jose Ramirez. Right now, Manzardo's slotted into their 3-hole. I could even give an argument for like Lane Thomas.
Pick whichever pitcher you think is going to be like the one for them.
Kinda, but I know they're going to pitch that. Why did they give Paul Sewald money? And that's no offense to Paul Sewald. The Cleveland Guardians.
They don't do that.
And the bullpen. That's one of the oddest signings of the offseason. That might be a fun episode. Yeah, I think I would put a Kyle Manzardo or even a Rocchio or one of the young guys because they need more performance. Again, this is where me and Jeff are fighting each other in this article. He has Skubal for the Tigers. I would again argue for hitting. I think if Tarek Skubal has again, same thing with McClanahan, a 2.2 ERA or a 3.3 ERA, I don't know how much that affects the Tigers' season. I'm expecting Tarek Skubal to be pretty damn good. And, I don't know, he mentions Jackson Jobe in this article of young guy, might have the second best young guy stuff compared to Skeen. So I think those Tigers are going to pitch again. It's what can they get offensively? Is it a Parker Meadows?
Do they get good Glaber for a full year?
Parker's starting the year on the IL. Glaber, I would listen to that. Glaber of their position players is expected to have the second highest WAR currently, according to Fangraphs. So, yeah, I would... Colt Keith moving to first base, anything of that ilk. Again, it's what are you looking for? Skubal just won the Cy Young. There's a chance he wins. There's a good chance he wins it again. Feels like he's in that perfect... It's something I think I'm going to assign Jolly to or someone, but it feels like there's these 2-year periods where it's just you're the alpha, the mileage hasn't caught up with your elbow or shoulder or anything yet. Feels like Skubal's right there. Yeah, I guess for me it's the expectation of him to be good, and they need more hitting. Kansas City Royals, Bobby Witt Jr., I'll accept it for now. Only because with him and Gunnar, and I've talked about this on some of the team profile and projections and some of the tier lists a little bit, those seasons were so historically good that you can't pencil that in. And I'll say it for Judge as well. These massive years Judge does, the 2 10 WAR seasons in the last 3. Jimmy went down a wormhole on that the other day. Bobby Witt Jr. had 9 WAR. Bobby Witt Jr. could have a 7 WAR season, which is incredible, and be 2 WAR less of the player than he was. And what does that mean for the burgeoning Kansas City Royals? So in a way, I like that. I think the Royals, for the star side of this argument that I've been fighting Brother Jeff on, I like that because there's only so many other Royals I can point to and be like, you could say Jonathan India. If Jonathan India gets on base at a 360 clip, that could change their whole lineup.
Keeping Vinny for a full year.
Right. If Vinny Pasquantino goes back up to a 800 plus OPS. That feels differently, but I kind of do like this one. I think
it's one where it makes sense. You need a guy to be. They need a guy to be an MVP type player.
It would also be Bobby Witt establishing himself as a special player, like arguably best player in the game. I know some people already think that, but doing it back to back is a little different, especially at a 9-WAR level. Also, our guy Jack Caglione, the spring training stats are crazy. I think our guy Sales Anthony just tagged me in a tweet about him, so that's when you know things are good. It'll be interesting to see if he can. I love a good fast track to the majors, and the Royals would love a fast track to the majors. So that's just something to keep an eye on.
22, not that crazy,
right?
Okay,
right. He's like a college guy, so if there's
that's the kind that can make that quick lump.
If there's someone that's supposed to, and Jackson Merrill's ruined everything for me. He was also a hitter and a pitcher, so for me, that's always like, okay, so if you just focused half of your... Okay, if you're done pitching for now, Jack Cags, maybe hitting just becomes a little easier. Minnesota Twins, season hinges on health. Good cop-out, Jeff. Proper and true. I would put an argument forward. I think you could highlight a pitcher. If Joe Ryan or Pablo Lopez takes a leap, I think that means a lot for Minnesota. Or Pablo just bouncing back. Weird year for him a little bit. Pablo was in that sneaky... You didn't list him as the best pitcher in baseball, but you're like, no, who's really good? Pablo Lopez. No, who throws 200 innings with 4 pitches and great control? Pablo Lopez. That kind of went away quick.
Yeah. And the numbers for the year...
Right.
They ended up not far off. Just a slow start that kind of put them out of sight, out of mind on a team that battled injuries.
No, it's another thing I don't like. Nice note here by Jeff in the something you might not know section. Ellie De La Cruz stole more bases than the entire Twins roster last year.
Oh.
Coming from a Yankees fan that watched a non-athletic team, athleticism matters. I don't know if it should be measured in stolen bases purely. Another sneaky team to watch out, and I'm not doing this to throw them under the bus, the New York Mets. It's the problem with adding guys like Juan Soto and Pete Alonso, which you might get 80 homers out of. But, the Mets' athleticism doesn't jump off the page. It actually might be nice if the bottom half of their lineup is Acuna and some of the other young bucks. Because, just something of note I saw today. Sorry, Mets fans.
Get Vientos a stretching routine.
Right, I don't know.
I don't know what he's supposed to be in that regard.
Okay.
I don't watch him day in, day out.
Here we go, BBD.
Contributes there.
Blind baseball savant, Mark Vientos, sprint speed. What do we think? I don't think he's fast.
I feel like what I remember of his savant has him slower than you'd think.
Give me I'm going 39.
I was gonna give a flat 30.
Let's see. Mark Vientos. Loading. Littering and. Sprint speed 22. So, that's your third baseman. That's one of your it was just
when you have two places like that, no problem. Hey. Outside of catcher.
Mark Vientos has a 900 OPS. Pete has an 880. Soto has a 1 dot. These problems aren't problems. Just something of note. Something I saw today. In the AL West, athletics, they say Lawrence Butler. There's a few different ways you could go with that whole conversation. I hope they're fun this year. It'd be cool if you could just tune into A's games and treat them like a real team. Is that nice or rude? There's legitimate talent on that team. I guess because the Athletics just extended Lawrence Butler, there's something important there. It makes sure he's good. Otherwise, they just need... The Athletics can be good, but they need so much to go right that I don't think I can pin it on one guy.
Yeah.
Rooker needs to continue to be one of the best DHs. L. Butts breakout needs to be real. Langeliers probably needs to take a step up.
Yeah, I guess they have.
Geloff bounce back. The whole infield has to be something.
For this exercise, I guess it is. They just land this up like, I literally don't know who else to put it on. The guy they just paid kind of needs to be good.
Yeah, I like that. Good job, Jeff.
I'll give you that one.
No, it's going to be funny. I'm going to text Jeff right now.
Flex.
That's big time. That's big time. Hey, reading your 30 teams article, did you pour your heart into it, or is this a mail it in Passan article?
Or were you just checking boxes?
Let's see his feedback to that one. My last one was like asking a favor for him, so now I feel bad sending that, but I'll bounce back. I always do. Houston Astros, Yordan Alvarez. I like it. Kyle Tucker's gone. Altuve's old. I think the other thing you could point to is Paredes or Christian Walker. Tough to split them up. You kind of need Yordan to be the guy. I didn't realize this, so again, I'll give Jeff his props. Yordan played his most games in a season last year, 147.
Like that?
He still hasn't had the 40-homer year, and it feels like it's coming, but, like, have you seen a guy casually? He had a 959 OPS last year. Below his career 973, but a higher OPS plus. Hitting was down last year. He's still just so elite that if he is healthy and there for a whole year. Jeff said, sorry to answer your question with a question, but what does it seem like? I'm going to say, seems pretty good, man. Pretty good, man.
Good mix.
Nice anecdotes. What should I come back at him with? Saying the Tigers, I don't say, saying the Rays and Tigers season depend on their Cy Young lefties. I don't know. Let's see. I like the Yordan pick. I think if he's in his territory, that kind of keeps Houston.
They just lost some,
King Tuck,
combined 45 guaranteed homers. So they need Yordan to be there and be that guy, which he's always been, basically.
Passan just said the word continuum, which I don't fully know what that means. So I'm just going to send him a GIF in a little bit and try to get him off my scent. Make the transaction go away. Angels, season hinges on Mike Trout, sure. Zach Neto's fantasy profile is low. I don't know. Draft him. Steals and homers.
He's starting the year on the IL, so that might be able to sneak you some value if you wait even longer.
Stash and dash. Logan O'Hoppe logged the third most games at catcher of anyone in MLB last year.
Oh.
You didn't mail this in, Jeff. Okay, now he's still typing. I didn't respond. I always forget how many words it is. Okay. Jeff's out for the rest of this episode.
So out.
Mariners, season hinges on Julio. Current lean is yes. God, they need him to be good. Ideally in the first half. God, I still don't know what to do with those guys. He does mention, and you guys, if you're a sports fan, if you're listening to Wake and Jake, you just subscribed, you've probably seen it. If you haven't, it's worth the look today. Urangelo Cinchi? He's thrown with both arms. 98 and 93. 98 with the right, 93 with the left. The switch pitcher is going to happen soon. And that's pretty cool. The Texas Rangers, their season hinges on you going to Cushy Dreams. Oh, nice. That's how you do it, people. The best in legal cannabis just got better. You know our friends at Cushy Dreams for their great THC products that ship directly to you. Everyone loves their gummies. If you know us, we certainly do. We enjoy them a lot on our JJTV channel and just regularly. They've also got some high-powered THCA flower. Smoke it, just like the real thing. This stuff is legal for you. Available in smokable sativa strain and indica sativa hybrid strain. The stuff is euphoric. Each one comes in 3 different sizes, so you can smoke as much as you want. How about that? We all have our different limits or what you're looking for in the experience. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. And since you're a fan of this fine show, we got a special deal for you. Take 20% off all D9 gummies, smokable THCA flower, in the entire store when you use code JOHNBOY at checkout. And I do like to read the comments on a lot of these episodes. There's a lot of you that enjoy this. I'm waking and jaking while I'm waking and jaking. Go check out Cushy Dreams. Code JOHNBOY at checkout, 20% off. Texas Rangers season hinges on Jacob deGrom. Weird one, because I get it. Jacob deGrom throws. How many innings does Jacob deGrom need to throw to win the Cy Young? Here's a fun game. In the American League, who are we competing with? Garrett Cole's out this year.
Cole's out.
I was just looking at this DraftKings Cy Young odds. Because it would be funny in the National League. You got Skeens, who's kind of on a similar thing. If Skeens throws a $150, does he win the Cy Young this year? DeGrom might be a similar no. Do you have the DraftKings odds over there? I just lost them.
I have just a list of likely candidates in front of me, not from our friends at DraftKings as far as the odds number, but sure. Scooble, Crochet, Reagans, Gilbert, DeGrom are your top 5 likeliest by an amalgamation of odds makers.
Yeah, I mean,
Pablo Lopez 6, McClanahan's up there, Framber.
Yeah, I guess for me, Crochet can beat DeGrom in this version of the season, right? Like if Crochet's that guy, the strikeouts continue, if not tick up a little bit. He throws 180 innings.
Going to a new team kind of helps your narrative.
A little bit. It can feel like wow, that guy won the Cy Young. Those other guys, I mean, Scooble back-to-back, we do like that storyline, and his numbers can be really good. But if DeGrom pitches a $150, he probably wins the Cy Young, which is just insane to say. So part of me likes that, but part of me is like, does the Ranger season depend on that? Like, you kind of have to, if you're being completely honest and you're the Rangers, you can't go into the season being like, our season depends on Jacob deGrom.
Kind of need to treat anything he ever gives you as a bonus.
Yeah. So, like, from that point of view, I'd maybe lean like Wyatt Langford becoming one of the best players in the sport or something like that. Because if that's true, then you have Seager, Langford, Jock, which that's with ignoring Simeon, Young, Jake Berger, like a lot of other guys that if Wyatt Langford goes this year, the Texas Rangers will be a very good team. If Jacob deGrom is out for half the season, it's almost expected. So now I've got to reply to him.
Yeah, but for them, I'd almost say like one of the top or former top prospects, Langford, Carter, to a lesser extent Young, like one of you take the leap, and
right.
That's what they need. Kevin Pillar with them in camp.
Yeah, out of retirement. Yeah, I'll go. I'll be there. Bochy likes me. Drink beers, play cards. Atlanta Braves season hinges on Ronald Acuna Jr. You can point to a lot of people. Did you know? I think the Braves had the best team ERA last year. Right. Just kind of Ronnie got hurt. All their hitting took a step back. That they ended up being middle of the pack, and that was without Strider last year, who, by the way, I think he just struck out 6 of his 8 in his first spring training debut. So that guy will be back soon and probably back with vengeance. Yeah, Ronnie's interesting to me. The Braves lineup feels a little different. Sean Murphy's already hurt. I like it just from the standpoint of if the Braves have so many different ways this season can go that I actually like it. If the Braves get off to a hot start, watch out. They're going to get Spencer Strider back. They're going to get Ronald Acuna Jr. back. If the Braves get off to a medium start, those are two big bops in the season. Hey, Braves are playing 500 ball. It's May 15th. Here's Spencer Strider. Hey, Braves are playing 500 ball. It's May 15th. Here's Ronald Acuna Jr. Like those two things, just the feel around it can change everything. I'm falling in love with the Braves this year. I think Olsen and Riley will be better. They won 89 games in a down year. So I know they lost Fried. I know they lost Morton. But they might sneaky be a pitching factory that we have to start mentioning with the Rays and the Dodgers and other teams like that. Reynaldo Lopez had the same stats as Paul Skeens last year. And he was available for every team for 3 years, $30 million or something like that. So I don't know. The Braves are a good org. That's what I know. Marlins, Sandy Alcantara. Yeah, a little bit. Because otherwise, what are we doing here? Mets hinges on Soto. Okay, Jeff at this point is just, let's get it out of your system. I want to find out if they are the Brewers pitching factory, but it's hard to put that in this column. Man, that roster on paper, if you didn't fully believe in the Mets, you'd buy into the lineup. That pitching, Clay Holmes, the opening day starter. Do Yankee fans know that yet?
I believe
they have to.
I believe they do.
I'm not as lost on X as I used to be. I'm hoping to get back during the baseball season. You got it open 7 to 10. But, I mean, that's... Let's see. The other side of that is they made it to the CS last year. Their guy that's running the ship right now came over from Milwaukee. They set up the pitching lab. It looks like it's already happening. The Mets just might pitch now, which if that's true, Soto, Alonso, that whole lineup, they can bang pretty good.
I think they'll be pretty motivated if come July there's some need. The guy just gave out the biggest contract ever. I think is going to be fine with them doing a trade.
Good pass and text. I can't share. Subscribe, and maybe I will. What is that? That's not true. The Phillies. Here's another team. The season hinges on JT Realmuto. A lot of places you can go with these Phillies. Again, I kind of like the catcher angle. It is interesting as you start to appreciate age a little bit more. Realmuto, soon to be 34. Zach Wheeler, 34. Harper, 32. Schwarber, 32. Turner and Nola turn 32 in June. So,
34 tomorrow, JT Realmuto. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Oklahoma boy. It's starting to get more real for these Phillies. I mean, they've got a ton of pieces around that. To point at one, I mean, Luzardo, Christopher Sanchez, they have so much around it that I kind of respect the JT angle. I don't know. If JT Realmuto has a 3-WAR season, I think that blends in fine, and the Phillies are still the Phillies, but they're a tricky team to do this exercise with. Nationals, James Wood. A couple young guys you could go here. Let's see. James Wood's stats were pretty dang good in his sample size last year, and apparently his launch degree was bad. If he figures that out, watch out. Really tough. That division, I don't know. Those top 3 should be so good that I wanted to believe in the Nats, but I can't. Best thing I heard all spring from Passan, the national starters look like an offensive line.
Like that.
We love some big boys. Why not? Chicago Cubs. Season hinges on Justin Steele. Okay. I'm into it. They have some lineup depth. Imanaga in his second year, what does that look like? Justin Steele has been... Where did his final numbers land at last year? Justin Steele, 24 starts last year. Banged up a little bit. 3.07 ERA. He was 3.06 the year before. Yeah, okay. Finished 5th in the Cy Young voting in 23. If the Cubs want to be the version of the Cubs they think they are, having like Justin Steele starts game 1 of our playoffs, feeling good about it, that would be big for the Cubbies. So I like that by Jeff. Hoping he didn't mail it in by this point. Reds, Ellie De La Cruz, mailing it in. Although he says how to win your fantasy league with Matt McClain, which I might. Maybe Matt McClain would be the guy that you could say. If Matt McClain is a 4.5 WAR guy this year, the Cincinnati Reds would feel a lot more different. I think the problem is if you start doing that, you can point to a lot of guys in the lineup. Maybe Hunter Green becoming bona fide, although he did it last year, or maybe just another guy in that rotation. Or actually, if I was writing this with Jeff, and this is how you cop out in life, Terry Francona. Come on, Jeff, level up, dude. Brewers, Jackson Chourio. I'm open to it just because this is kind of the next era of Brewers baseball. As Yelly gets a little older, we've talked about Mitchell, and is he one of the more underrated players in the game? Is Bryce Terang going to get 5-6 WAR every year? Blah, blah, blah. I talk about WAR a lot for something, I don't know. It's usable. Don't live by it.
An approximation.
It's a construct. Let's find out if Jackson Chourio is that guy. Because he stole 22 bases and he hit 21 home runs last year, and he couldn't legally go to a bar in Milwaukee and drink. So yeah, that's this is good by Jeff. He didn't mail it in. Of the 28 players with more WAR in their age 20 season, 13 of them are Hall of Famers. So half the guys that did what Chourio did last year are Hall of Famers. And A-Rod doesn't count.
A-Rod's one of the guys that isn't in.
And it includes Trout, Machado, Soto, Correa, and Ronnie Acuna Jr. So I guess that's the point. Milwaukee might have one of those guys on their team for the next 8 years.
Already extended.
Good note. Pirates, Skeens, yeah, I get it. But does it? I need any hitting out of that team. Any hitting out of that team. They struggled to win with Skeens being extraordinary. How much better can he get? Cardinals, you're kind of out. Mason Wynn, Ivan Herrera, I don't know. Sucks that they're out. I hope they're not. But they seem super out. In the NL West, Diamondbacks, Corbin Carroll. I'm interested. If you want to be a little more cheeky, they could have gone Corbin and Corbin. No, it's one that turned my head, and this doesn't matter at all, but just pocket it as a little... I guess this is me complimenting myself, but I'm not complimenting myself because I think Jimmy's much more better at this. Bill Simmons sometimes just says stuff without any information, but he's just kind of right. He's just watched enough basketball that he just kind of knows. Jimmy's got that a little bit with different things. That's not my sweet spot. I saw E-Rod throwing a bullpen, and I was like, E-Rod can be good. E-Rod can be really good. And you can do that with 6 guys on the Snakes. I don't know. Corbin Carroll's probably the right answer. He was supposed to be kind of regular MVP with his speed. If he hits this good, he's going to be 5-6 WAR, blah, blah, blah. Last year, the first half was so bad that we got away from that, but he really bounced back.
He did it for the second half. Just go back.
And dude, it's so funny. We've done this whole thing with front offices where it's front offices in the playoffs, it's a crapshoot and blah, blah, blah. And there's whatever to that. The other side, the Mets and the Diamondbacks basically had the same season last year. But on the last day in a weird doubleheader, And what was it, the 7th or 8th inning from hell, where the Mets and Braves both blew it? The D-backs could have been in the dance, and what if the D-backs went to the championship series and won 2 games against the Dodgers? They signed Corbin Burns. That's no joke. That it's funny, the Snakes, not as much on the radar, and I've come around on the Corbin Carroll pick, although I guess in my head I'm expecting him to be good, which maybe I shouldn't just pencil that in. That maybe like Josh Naylor being a 30.
Doing a good Naylor year.
Josh Naylor being a 30-homer guy would be huge for that team. Gabby Moreno's full-blown breakout, something like that. But I understand what he's saying. Burns, Gallen, Kelly, Erod, Fott. Is Jordan Montgomery just in their bullpen? Get him on the Yankees tomorrow. Cash.
I don't get what's happening there. They promised in the offseason.
Can't you
They shit-talked him and promised they're trading him.
Can't Jordan Montgomery's contract perfectly fit in the Cole insurance money they're saving?
By real-life dollars, yes, but with, the rules, I think technically the Yankees could add, $14 million and it not change their, books. But the Yankees got $27 million in real life dollars back, and Montgomery makes I think 25.
He's in phenomenal shape. That's good. Throwing on the backfield. I don't know. Yanks could use him. Make Jimmy
Feels
happy.
like we could do something there.
Feels like there's some action to be had.
Maybe there's some trick.
Save you a couple dollars.
You guys eat $5 million.
Let's see, what else is in here? Rockies, I'm sorry. Zeke Tovar got one of those extensions, and he might be really good. So sure. Why not? Chase Dollander shows well. Nope. Dodgers, season hinges on Ohtani. Get out of here. Nothing. No, they are the opposite of the Rockies. In that
Nothing matters, complimentary.
Almost nothing. God. San Diego Padres. Season hinges on Jackson Merrill. I'm interested. If I look at the Padres, will I have the same reaction? You guys know I love Jackson Merrill. He had an amazing rookie year. Does he have more in there? Bogarts is interesting. Can he bounce back? But he didn't do much last year. Does Tatis have more in there? Nick Pivetta filling out the rotation. I guess I don't hate it. Right now they have the lineup as a Rise, Tatis, and Merrill. If you had to bank on what you're going to get from those guys, you kind of know what you're going to get from a Rise. Good or bad. Tatis feels like Fernando Tatis. You'd hope he comes back to his MVP-ish type form because he was a tier below that. Jackson, but he's going to be good. Fernando Tatis. Jackson Merrill, we get nervous about rookies sometimes. But, yeah, he's slotted in between Tatis and Machado.
Yeah. Maybe in our heads coming into this, we probably, at least I'll speak for myself, I sort of have him penciled in to just be good, which is probably unfair of anybody who's played just one MLB season. My gut would have gone to Bogarts being good again.
Yeah, I mean, again, that stat.
Going back to short and is that going to be what they need?
That stat Passan had, I don't think Merrill fits the bill. Depends. He turns 22 in April. But, for how good he was last year, to be a year off and you could get lumped in with all those Hall of Famers. So I like that. Okay, was going to call him out, ended up not.
Before you move on, I hate to bring us back to the Dodgers, but did you see what the best thing you heard all spring was for them?
Was it Zaire Hope?
Yeah, they have a short boy prospect who squatted 850. I just thought that'd be after your heart.
Jeff, easy with the short boy 5'10" stuff, okay? Okay, pal? Get out of those dress shoes. Okay, I ended up liking Jackson Merrill. For the San Francisco Giants, the last team the season hinges on, Willie Adames. I get it. You just brought in a guy for 180-something mil. I can buy into that. You could have talked me into a Robbie Ray or something like that. But yeah, the Giants, if we're being honest, they fall into they're going to hate this, but the Athletics bucket of they just need the collective.
Yeah.
They need the collective to just be a little better, whatever that means.
They now have between Adames, Lee, just getting an MRI on his back.
Yeah.
I'll throw Chapman in the mix because he just got the deal partway through last year. Like, one of those guys needs to be actually good. Like, Chapman needs to repeat what he did.
Right, like if Willie...
Like, I believe it. One of those three needs to be, like, kind of value for them.
I don't want this to come off as super rude. Willie Adames arguably had his best year last year. He had more WAR in 22 and 21 when he got traded. But let's say Willie Adames runs back last year. 251, 331, a 794 OPS, 32 homers, 21 steals. If he runs that back, arguably his best season, that doesn't mean I think the Giants are like a playoff team, right? Yeah. Like it's nice, it's great,
that's good.
Like
but if he does more like his average year, I think they're just like upset.
They just need so many pieces to just be a little bit better. Not shots fired at Willie.
There are a lot of guys that are close to a lock for what they need.
Like in my head, I think I would tilt my head and be like, hey, if Logan Webb is about as reliable as a starter as there is in baseball. If you could tell me Robbie Ray was like Cy Young level this year, maybe not Cy Young level because that's unfair, but if Robbie Ray was sitting at a 3 flat ERA, and you tell me the Giants have Logan Webb, Robbie Ray, and then something clicks with Verlander, Hicks, and Birdsong, it's like, okay, these Giants can pitch, like for real pitch. I think that would be more significant, and maybe Brother Jeff just doesn't think that's in the cards. So, a great article from Jeff Passan, who did not mail it in. He, in fact, did a fantastic job. Make sure you tweeted him and tell him that. It's that time of year. Let's fill out a bracket quick, people, while I got you, because it's going to be a tier list Wednesday, so not going to attach it to that. So let's bring it up and we'll chew down the board together, because this is one of my favorite exercises, because I just like doing it on the fly and seeing what secret thoughts do I have in my head that I haven't let out. So let's go to the South region, the upper left. Auburn gets the 1 seed. Loving all the fodder around them, because I guess they've lost 3 out of 4, which a number 1 overall seed has never done that. People are going nuts about SEC basketball. There's part of me that hope it's all real. There's part of me that hopes they just get punched in the teeth, because I can't believe how hyped everyone is for SEC basketball. But it's what that conference has turned into, and Auburn's been a part of that. So, and if you just want me to get mad for a second, they face the winner of Alcorn State and St. Francis of PA. You might remember St. Francis of PA made the tournament because they beat Central Connecticut State University at CCSU. Final score 46-43. CCSU's first chance to go dancing in a while, and they blew it. Auburn wins. Louisville Creighton. I've seen a lot of Creighton this year, and they have a little bit of hate ability to them. They've just got a giant in Kalkbrenner, and they've got a little guy in Ashworth. That's kind of the college basketball recipe. They play good team basketball. I love Chucky Hepburn on Louisville. We're going Louisville. That sets up Auburn, Louisville. Michigan, UC San Diego. I think UC San Diego is a cool story. I think this is their first year in Division I basketball, and they made the dance. I like both Michigan teams. I think they're both playing well this year, so that won't be a 5-12 for me. People like Yale. Oh, I found my storyline. That's a reminder for any of you that haven't been with me for previous bracket years. We fill out brackets with storylines in mind. And this one has a sneaky one. This is an upset people really like because Yale made the tournament last year. The problem is their best player transferred out. And where did he transfer to? Michigan. So we're going to have Yale upset A&M so that we have Wolf, the former Yaley, playing Michigan. That's probably going to be a popular one. Ole Miss faces the winner of San Diego State UNC. I still hate the 11-hole play-in game. Can we stop this? Like, that's ridiculous. I think it's such an advantage, too, to play a game and win and then play in the tournament again this opening upset weekend. I'm going to take Ole Miss just because I can't stomach it. UNC probably shouldn't have been invited to the dance. San Diego State, pretty good program history there. Anyways, Iowa State, Lipscomb, the Fighting Bison from Nashville. Iowa State, 13.5-point favorite. Their coach, a little bit of a meathead like that. We're going Iowa State. You're going to, BBD, bring up a picture of him. You're going to like it. Iowa State basketball coach. He kind of looks like if our guy Bill went on a steroids run. That's not a great pick of him. That's tough. That's Google it. There we go. I mean, that's what you want. Like, he coaches the basketball team and then he coaches the football team in the same outfit. I like him. He gives good post-game interviews. They fight off Lipscomb somehow. Marquette, New Mexico. We love Shaka Smart. Saw some nice Marquette fans at the Big East tournament. I'm going upset here just for schlitz and giggles because I don't have enough upsets in this region. Shaka overrated? Question mark. New Mexico moves on. Michigan State, I already told you, kind of like both Michigan teams. I think they're both peaking at the right time. So we could just move Michigan State along. They beat the Lobos. Iowa State goes on. I like the meathead coach. Auburn advances to face Michigan. Although that could be a bloodbath. That could be an upset. Every region doesn't have to be ugly. I'm out on region shaming. That's not how it works. Maybe this will be the ugly region. Let's go Michigan and Michigan. I like a storyline. Michigan State, absolute bloodbath. Michigan State goes to the Final Four. January, February, Izzo. I don't like that. I'm actually not a big Tom Izzo fan. I just think this Michigan State team's really good. Jason Richardson, old Golden State slam dunk contest winner. His son's on Michigan State. I believe it's Jace Richardson. His dad played there. That's just kind of cool. I like that. How could you not like that? Michigan State's going dancing. Let's go. We'll do that top right one. We've got it in sight on the screen for those on the YouTube watching along with us. Duke, American versus Mount St. Mary's. I'll be rooting for the other team, but Duke moves on. Mississippi State versus Baylor. God, Baylor does have my guy Norchad Omier and top draft prospect VJ Edgecombe. Mississippi State. God, the Baylor Bears lost so many games. So did Mississippi State because of that brutal conference. I'm going Baylor. I believe in program history. Duke Baylor, that's a fun one. Oh, and the storyline there is Edgecombe versus Cooper Flagg. Those are going to be two of the top, couple picks in the draft, so that's fun. We like that. Oregon versus Liberty. The Liberty Flames. Found that out the other day. No clue. Got to start getting your 12-5s. Does it happen here? No. I like Oregon come tournament time. Pretty cool. One of the reasons Oregon's had a lot of tournament runs, or people believe they've had a lot of tournament runs, their head coach Altman, they play a ton of different defenses, which they're like, it's just tougher for tournament teams to prepare for. Sure. I'll believe that. Arizona, Akron, the Zips. Oh, I kind of want to. Arizona's actually playing good right now. We're going Arizona. BYU, VCU. We're going VCU. A lot of people think BYU can make a run and actually win this bracket. I'm against it. VCU's got good history. Going back to early Shaka, who I just wrote off. And we need to get an upset in somewhere. So VCU takes BYU. I'm not bought in. He says. Wisconsin, Montana. Rivalry game. Two of my favorite states. Let's go Badgers. They're good. They could have just won their tournament. They just lost to Michigan. You know I'm in on that. St. Mary's, Vanderbilt. Blindly going Vanderbilt. Just went there. Done. Alabama, Robert Morris. Closer than the experts think. But Alabama moves on. Let's see. Alabama beats Vanderbilt. That's a no-brainer. VCU. They beat Wisconsin. Here's an upset. Yeah. See, this is how you do it, people. You run into one or two. I do think Duke ends up beating Baylor. They just won without Cooper Flagg. God, part of me doesn't want to do that, but that's fine. And give me Oregon. Oregon, Arizona. Some old Pac-12 action there. Alabama rolls on. God, do I think Oregon can actually beat Duke? I don't. Although Nate Biddle has a good profile picture. Let's go the Dukies. Duke, Bama, 1-2. I know you guys aren't happy. We're going Duke. I kind of believe in Cooper Flagg. You heard it hurt my soul a little bit, but I think he's really good. Maybe he's hurt. Anyways, bottom of the bracket. Let's go on the left side. Florida. They're facing Norfolk State. Florida wins that. Bold take. UConn, Oklahoma. You guys know me. You know I'm going UConn. I have all the stats and info I could give you. I think Oklahoma's best player tallest player that's gonna be playing this game is like 6'7". So we'll just rebound him and block him. Easy. Height wins in basketball. Remember that. Memphis, Colorado State. Colorado State playing good ball right now, and this is absolutely Colorado State. Get those 12s in. Maryland versus Grand Canyon. This has a chance to be the ugly bracket. I think Grand Canyon could beat those dirty Terps, but I'm going Terpy here. Maryland, I think the highest scoring team in the country. That should matter, right? That probably means they give up baskets too. Otherwise, they'd be more than a 4 seed. Missouri versus Drake. That's kind of a gross matchup. That's one of those things you look at and you're like, wait, how'd these two teams get each other? No offense to either, but just a little bit of offense to both. I'm going ugly region. Let's go Drake here. Yeah, this is a good ugly region. The bottom of this region's so electric. I forgot about that. Texas Tech, UNC, Wilmington. Oh, I want to make it all ugly. No, Texas Tech's become a good basketball school. Toppin is one of the best players in the tournament. Let's do it. And then this bottom, which this is where you know the tournament just has fun. Bill Self in Kansas. Arkansas with Calipari. I'm a storyline guy. You give me the opportunity to put Calipari versus Patino on an NCAA bracket, and I'm going to do it. Sorry, Omaha. I mean, this sideline is just gross. Ugh. Calipari, Patino. Oh, it's greasy. St. John's is really good. St. John's moves on. And this is where Drake's storylines end. Tough year for Drake. Texas Tech moves on. Colorado State, Maryland. Do I do it to my Terps? I think I'm gonna. Let's believe it. I already have VCU going on. No, I'm not gonna do it. Terps are good. Terps move on. Do I want to take UConn versus Florida? UConn is not as good as they've been in previous years, but you don't want to see them come tournament time. Gators have elite defense. UConn hates elite defense. I think the dream ends. I think the dream ends. Florida beats them. So, hey, this ugly side of the bracket, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So, I guess I'm a little bit of a liar. Terps going to run. They beat Florida. Let's go. I didn't know I had that. St. John's beats Texas Tech, and St. John's comes out. Patino, the storyline, and they're just really good. They're really good. It's been fun for all the St. John's fans in the office. So we have Michigan State, St. John's, and Duke. Let's figure out the Midwest bracket. Houston. God, I like them a lot. They are nasty. Nasty boys. Georgia versus Gonzaga. Zags are favorites in that one. You know what? I'm going to buck it. Everyone loves this SEC so much. Give me Georgia. Everyone loves this SEC. Clemson McNeese. This is going to be a popular 12-5. I'll stick with Clemson. They get the job done. Purdue versus High Point. What? Don't make me point to High Point on a map. Let's go Purdue. Illinois versus Texas Xavier. Again, this just feels super unfair because I hate the 6-11. I'm just going to pick the 11. I get 2 teams there. I think Texas is one of the historically worst tournament teams ever, but there might be a reason they're in. Kentucky versus Troy. Go Cats. Cats by 100. UCLA. UCLA versus Utah State. Let's go Utah State. I love a good 7-10 game. Tennessee fights off Wofford. Closer than the experts think. Minus 19.5, so still not that close. Tennessee's peaking at the right time. Let's move them along. And I'm going to take the illegal Texas Xavier pick. Wow. Move on. Fuck them. Nothing matters. Houston beats Georgia. Clemson beats Purdue. Great games, both of them. Glad you tuned in. Houston beats Clemson. Tennessee, we'll go 1-2 here. It's lame and you all hate it. Houston wins. So I've got 2 1s and 2 2s, which again, people, I know your heart doesn't like that, but that's usually kind of how it sorts out. I'm going with Houston. I think they are just an absolute electric factory. I'm going Michigan State. They beat St. John's. Izzo versus Patino. What a legendary game that is. And your winner in the national championship game is... Let's go Houston. I think they're ready to hang a batter. Batter or banner? How many points will be scored in the championship game? Let's see. I've got it. Houston plays great defense. I've got it as 70-61. Everyone knows that is 131 points. Do I enter to win this sweepstakes? Yeah, why not? Every time... Oh, I'm entered. Oh, no, you got to enter your address. I'm not doing that. I'm just not doing that. All right. There was some analysis and some thoughts there. There also wasn't a lot. Good luck filling out your bracket. Maybe there was one tidbit there for you. Maybe there wasn't. Either way, thank you guys so much. Enjoy March Madness. Enjoy baseball games in a couple hours. That's wild.
By the time we talk next.
Yeah. And then tier list with Jolly on Wednesday. So we'll see you guys there. Thank you.